give a big welcome for my partner, Karl Bryan.
Thank you. Hey. Love this guy. Just so you guys know, I am 100% the cute blonde of our relationship. The brains just walked out down the aisle here. Okay, so guys, a couple things before we get started. Jason, one thing that he probably didn't emphasize as much as what he could is that he did that all virtually, right? You know, like his, the joint ventures and the webinars and whatnot. The guy's done it. He was in Geneva and he's doing this all over the world. So again, I think that's important, and notwithstanding, that's a bit about what we're about to talk about. So, whoopsie. Quickly, guys, to get going, once again, I am extremely excited. I get to give back, and there's no doubt the internet has really changed things for me in a very significant way. Challenged in a little bit in that I run a social media course along with another fellow coach, Simon Meadows, which is 8 hours. So it was a 2-hour present. I took 8 and turned it into 2, and then a 2, and I'm going to find a way to make it 1.5. So put your seatbelt on, guys. You all know that I can talk quickly. This is going to be an example of it. Is that a good idea? Or should I leave some stuff out? All right, so first of all, why, guys? Why do you want to use the internet is the first question. That's the way I started the last presentation. That's the way I'm going to start this one. It's critical and genuine. It sounds like it's out of a textbook. It looks, it sounds like a bit of a platitude. It's not. You got to work out why. Why do you want to use the internet? You got to work out your outcome first. Before you get going, guys, you need to decide. Okay, when you decide, you need to buy in. You got to get it on a cognitive level, an emotional level, and a physical level. I find that most people go to the internet and they're kind of like, well, I think I might run a webinar, and then all of a sudden, guess what happens to the webinar? They book it for a particular date, and then it gets pushed back a week, another week, a month. It's like buy in big time. Like my coaches, you want to book a, have a seminar, the first thing I said is go find the venue and pay for it. Write a check, give your credit card, pull cash out of your wallet, and pay for it, because all of a sudden there's going to be a significantly greater why attached to it. Okay, so again, have the outcome in mind before you get going with your strategy on the net. We have a LinkedIn campaign. The batteries are falling out here, folks. Nothing serious. We have a LinkedIn campaign that's done over $1 million. Okay, we have multiple LinkedIn campaigns, by the way, with different. We have longer guided tours and shorter guided tours, and we got red ones, and we got blue ones, and that sort of stuff. We've run multiple simultaneously. So again, we're legitimately, the stuff I'm about to talk about is not, well, show of hands, guys, if you're honest with yourself, you sort of question whether or not this stinking internet thing really works, and if it's as great as it's all made out to be, and that all the experts scream over the, on the emails and whatnot. Okay, and I'd put my hand up with that as well, because I was like, is this really, does this thing work as well? I had 1,800 people opt into a webinar that I ran. 1,800 people didn't show up, by the way, but again, pretty solid 500 flowed through it. Twitter, I have 30,000 people following me on Twitter. I have no idea, because I'm not that interesting, but they're there. The 2 presentations, you guys have probably seen them in some way, shape, or form. How I earned $187,000 my first 9 months online as a coach. That's Craig, the numbers, but we put 10,000 coaches through and over a couple webinars. How I earned $187,000 my first 9 months online as a coach. And by the way, guys, I would encourage you to take that. That's effectively a headline. It's an incredible product or a incredible program that you could create. Just take in the 187. Just change up the numbers and change up the words, but effectively follow the format where I didn't say how you can, how I did it. Trust, experience, generated $187,000. I quantify it with the number in how long? 9 months from a standing start. Right? Again, that's very, very powerful. But so through those 2 webinars, how I earned $187,000 my first 9 months online as a coach, and how I generated 250 hot new coaching leads in 90 days using Google. In fact, those are the ones that I had out there when Adrian and I first met, and he said, wow, look, let's partner together. Again, I had a conversation with him, and I went, wow, this guy is awesome. Here's the details. I can do the other, the cute blonde stuff, the thinking, and boom, here we are today. So now, what can you guys, the most powerful marketing force online? Or in fact, Kim Walsh-Phillips, you guys might have heard, she ran a social media course for us. She's actually Dan Kennedy's social media gal. Okay, so if you see Dan Kennedy on the internet, it's Kim Walsh-Phillips. So again, so says this, the top 4 trending searches last year: Nelson Mandela, Paul Walker, the iPhone, and Corey, I don't even know how to say his last name, Monteith. This is the actor from Glee who passed away. Okay. The top obsessions on the internet: Miley Cyrus twerking, Duck Dynasty, I get no idea, I've never seen the show, I never want to see the show, but apparently it's super duper popular, and The Walking Dead. Can you guys tell me, do you see, apart from the iPhone, do you see a trend there? What is it that what is the commonality between those apart from the iPhone? Can anybody have a guess for me? What? Celebrity. Boom. This is exactly it. Become a local celebrity, guys. And I almost can, hear the thoughts inside your head. Holy shit. Like all of a sudden that brings on fear, and fear at a high level. Guys, you'd be surprised how quickly, how easily you can get yourself a bit of a profile out there and start to get a lot of people following you. Okay, so how do you do it? Get your books out there. We talked about the author program yesterday. Again, guys, one book is mandatory in my opinion. Multiple books just takes you to a whole nother level. Okay, the offer that we had yesterday, this isn't stuff that we're like, oh wow, we just want to line our pockets and make tons of dough. I mean, obviously we want to profit. That's what we're in business for. We're giving it to you for our cost anyways, letting you pay it off. But significantly more than that, we want you guys to go and make this stuff work. You want to get attention on the internet. You want to drive leads and have people say, like Jason said earlier, I want to do this with you. Will you help me do that? Hey, I want to get together. Like them approach you instead of you approach them. This is the kind of stuff you want to have. So books, multiple, articles, just put some articles out there. We provide all sorts of stuff for you. Speaking regularly, goes without saying. A lot of you love the idea of speaking and a lot of you hate the idea of speaking. I'm going to say just get your head around it. Again, a good speaker is someone who's done it multiple times. Adrian is a rock star up here because he's done it literally thousands of times. He used to live on the road between Monday and Friday and do nothing but speak in rooms exactly like this. Sometimes with 50 like we have in this room and sometimes in 500. It doesn't matter. The content's the same. The process is the same. His nerves are exactly the same. He doesn't sweat it. The reason why, the first time I'm sure he stood up there, if he's honest with you, and there's 500 people in the room, he probably crapped his pants a little, right? After that, it just is what it is. Get out there and do it regularly. It's practice, practice, practice. Endorsed by the chamber. Again, anybody think, I want you to think of something I went over in my last presentation that I've had a lot of comments since about. What could you go to the chamber with, and how could you accelerate their willingness to partner with you or to endorse you?
12-month subscription.
12-month subscription. You could provide them some currency. Anything else?
Provide them with a screen share after that.
Yep.
Have a chat with them about, well, if this can benefit your small business, what about your members?
Yep, absolutely. And I want you to think the accountant, the bookkeeper, the networking organization, the business broker, the network, the group that basically has a big line. How about you walk in there and write a check? And just say, look, for $500, it's not writing a check, it's not bribery, it's like I want to sponsor. I really like what you're doing at this networking group. You got a really cool thing going on. I want to write a check for $500, $1,000, $250, $200, but I want you to endorse me. And what I think we should both endorse is the fact that my book is the best you've read in a number of years on the topic of business. My presentation is the best that you've seen in X amount of times in business or on sales and marketing. Could you see how you could get a little bit creative if you let the hamsters run a little bit? Like walk in there and pay for access. Write them a $500 check, guys. You'd be amazed. And I'm not talking in a sleazeball kind of lame way. I'm talking about an ethical, go and sponsor them. What did Phil Knight do to Michael Jordan? He wrote him a check and got him to sign a piece of paper that he wasn't going to go and wear Adidas for X amount of years. And if it worked out, that he would renew it and probably up it. Same sort of idea. Okay, so get active locally. It's like where energy goes, energy flows, right? Or energy flows, energy goes. Get active locally. You're probably thinking, well, how the heck would I get active locally? I don't really know what's going on. Well, you start paying attention to what's going on locally and you'll be blown away at all the opportunities that are sitting right before you right now. Press release. Again, you go to coachesmarketingcenter.com, you go back there, boom, Adrian's done a press release. He's put yellow where you go and put your name and then your site name. Boom, it's ready to go. What I would encourage you to do is take that and personalize it for your particular situation. Walt was in the military for 23 years. I would be writing that in my press release, that's for damn sure. It comes back to that story that I told you about. Okay, again with Brendan Bouchard, Tony Robbins, what's your story? Take that, put it in the press release, get it out there. Boom. Again, buy endorsement as I put down along the bottom. Get a little bit creative with this and think outside the box in terms of, and I say $1,000, $500, like guys, again, if money's tight, then make it a smaller amount, and if money is plentiful, go write a slightly larger one, and all you're going to find is that you're going to accelerate their enthusiasm to do it. And offer, again, everything is an offer. You change your offer, you change your what? Life. Boom. So when you go into the chamber, when you go to the account, and you go and buy this endorsement, and then get creative with the endorsement's going to be. Don't get them, if you suck at webinars, don't get them to endorse your webinars being like the best since sliced bread. right? If you haven't taken the time to personalize your book and really make it yours, then that's probably not the thing to endorse. But there is something, right? You had a one-to-one conversation with this guy. You did a, what you call a sales and marketing audit, a one-to-one get-together. He's like, this thing was earth-shattering. This guy, he told me he was going to find me $10,000 in 45 minutes, and she found me $125,000 in 30 minutes. You talk about over-delivering. Boom. Okay? So again, so what could you do by becoming a local celebrity? And again, I know that for some of us, that's a little bit hard to get our head around, especially those of you that haven't been doing this as long as what some of the others in the room have. But I'm telling you, just find a way. And guess what? Small, sturdy steps. Think about that. The airplane that takes off at LA on the way to New York and it's 1 degree off, where does it land? In Europe, right? It doesn't land like in a suburb. It doesn't land in a couple states away. Like it lands in another continent. Okay, so small things matter. So now you say, okay, well, I want to start marketing on the internet. I want to start, raising my profile, try to build up this quote unquote celebrity status that he's talking about. Where would I do it? Like, where am I going to effectively drive the traffic? Okay, well, to a website. You can do it to your general website, as Adrian alluded to earlier, and he's 100% correct. That's not where you're going to be able to capture leads and whatnot. Your website's really going to be a preeminent sort of thing. It really should be there. Think of it as a brochure. You hand somebody a brochure, that's what your website is. Or more to the point, a landing page where you can draw their email address. Your Facebook page can be very, very clever. You guys have a Facebook page. Make sure you populate it properly with all the, like your different offers. Remember, you don't want to promote the name of your company. Nobody gives a stuff. Promote your programs, your products, and your events. Okay, the same way that the NFL or any professional league that you're going to, mention right now, I guarantee you they're not promoting the PGA. They're not promoting the MLB. They're not promoting the English Premier League. They're promoting like the young stars, the games, the playoffs, the finals, the up-and-coming rock stars of the old, the Tom Brady of the league who's, stood the test of time and still out there. Okay, so again, your LinkedIn profile, once again, fill that bad boy out. Guys, your LinkedIn profile, the first thing, when you run an ad, what dictates the success of your ad? Lock, stock, and barrel, the top of it. Or you guys tell me. What is it? Headline, but everybody agree with that? Anybody disagree? Your LinkedIn profile has the exact same thing. What do you have on there? Okay, we get business coaches, clients, ... period. Right, something along those lines, something very powerful, put it there. Your Twitter profile, same thing. You've got your Twitter profile, and then you've got all sorts of real estate there to put something up that's reasonably clever. A pop quiz, what could you, guys help me out, what could you ask, if you were going to run a pop quiz to your target market, what are the things that you could put on a pop quiz to get them interested? Or not really to get them interested, to get them engaged so they filled it out, so they put, enter at the bottom of it. What could you ask in a pop quiz? Got small business owners, they're coming to your page. What would you guys want to ask them?
Top problem.
Top, boom, and could you list them maybe? Rather than just say top challenge, could you go social media, sales, marketing, finding good staff, retaining clients, etc. That'd be a good pop quiz. Boom, drive them to that. Get some good information. Now keep in contact with them. Drive them to a blog. All of you guys you all get 52 blog articles from us. Okay, again, personal, I would encourage you not to just, you can put your name on the bottom and chuck them up there, but Google, they recognize that, they see it's duplicate content, they don't give you credit for it. I wouldn't do that, notwithstanding a bit of personalization will go a long, long way. You don't need to personalize the whole thing. Well, you if you want Google to recognize it, you do, okay? But again, just go in there and just alter it, right? Like the content is there, just go and switch some sentences around, whatnot, and put in your own story and put, just mention yourself and what you're up to and your clients and the kids and your wife and your family life and whatnot. Boom, right there. Okay, so blogging. Video blog, again, on your own website, guys. One of the things, because a lot of you guys I see on Facebook and I see on Twitter, very seldom do I see anybody promoting the video blog. Do you guys even realize that on your website, your e-learning system, you've got a video blog, and that every single week we go in and then we update it every week there's a new video. Boom, so what do you do with that? You go to Twitter and you let them know. You go to Facebook profile and you let them know. You send out an email, you let them know. That's driving traffic. It's that simple, guys. It's really not a complicated process at all. But again, so your video blog, that can be great. That can be really good for you getting eyeballs. Or in fact, I just want to press pause for 1 minute. This is very important. Guys, the internet is about getting eyeballs. Lock, stock, barrel, boom. I want you to understand that. It's all about eyeballs. A metaphor I love to give. You guys ever been to a rock concert? Let's say Guns N' Roses come to town and Axl Rose is there. Okay, let's say there's probably going to be 30,000, but whatever. There's going to be 1,000 people in the audience, which means 2,000 eyeballs. What are the chances, if he's a single man, what are the chances of him leaving with a date? If he wants one. Incredibly high, right? it's the eyeballs that makes it happen, okay? Because they're not sitting there looking at the drummer, they're not looking, and some of them are, by the way, and they probably get a date as well, okay, by virtue of the fact that they were standing behind Axl Rose. That's the internet, guys. That's Celebrity 101. It's just lock, stock, barrel stuff. I want you to be thinking along those lines. You want to get eyeballs to it, okay? So a survey, same sort of thing as the pop quiz. Ask them some questions, find out what they're thinking, ask them why they didn't buy from you, and boom, all of a sudden you've got 2 things on the page and it's eyeballs. Articles don't need to be your articles, guys. Like on Facebook, like Business Insider, I read it on probably 3 times a day. I'm obsessed with the thing. Not sure why. Business Insider, love it. If you don't read it, I encourage you to. If you've got that insatiable appetite for, like business content and whatnot, Business Insider has some great stuff. Like Elon Musk is up to something, it's going on Business Insider straight away. Okay, so anyway, you go to my Facebook page and then I see a good article on Business Insider, and I just link to it. Boom, there you go. I just link back, and people click through. All of a sudden, and by the way, you don't end up with the eyeballs in fairness, but what you did do is get an engagement, which is another kind of conversation. But you got to get the ball rolling in order to get this moving in your favor. News story. Again, similar to Business Insider, same kind of thing. LinkedIn message, again, it's on the internet. It is not, in the realm of traditional driving traffic, but trust me, you send somebody a LinkedIn message, they get on it, they got their eyeballs, they're looking at your message, you've got an opportunity for an engagement, then an appointment, and ultimately a coaching client if you've got the right offer. Okay, Facebook message works exactly the same. And here, so now you're driving traffic. And now quickly, and I'm putting this up because I want you guys I want to kind of dummy this thing down, that it's not that complicated. There's not that many things you can do. I mean, I've nailed, like, everything's on there, right, as far as what you're doing. Yes, Bronson?
Something I've been absolutely loving lately that is such a game changer and will be the #1 tool for helping any of us become celebrities is Periscope.
Oh, yeah.
I can't emphasize that enough. Periscope is critical for becoming a celebrity, and it'll happen real fast.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen it. Hands up, you've seen Periscope hanging around all of a sudden? Probably never heard of it 6 months ago, and now it's everywhere.
It's like having your own live TV channel for free right there.
It's kind of like blog talk radio on steroids.
It's a live stream that's owned by Twitter. Periscope, 2 guys built it. It's owned by Twitter. Twitter now own it. So basically it's feeding through all your Twitter contacts. And I did one outside, literally filming the sunset with like 123 people come on.
Did you?
Yeah, seriously. But for like 10 to 15 seconds.
Really? Oh, wow, that's wow.
And if you have any sort of personality,
Again, guys, see that? The power in that, guys, is enormous. Again, you've got eyeballs, right, for those 23 seconds. There's cool things you can do. This is why YouTube is, worth billions. This is why Facebook is worth, an insane number of billions of dollars. So now you're going to drive the traffic. And again, just to dummy this thing down, because I don't want you to think it's overly complicated, here are the only things you can really do to sort of go and then capture their email address. So you do a squeeze page. You know what that is? You do a pop-up, okay, and then you do a squeeze pop-up. So you can have a pop-up and then just like give them cool information. Like I do these 45-minute turnarounds where I guarantee to find you 10 grand, 45 minutes without spending $1 on marketing or advertising. Then you do a squeeze pop-up where obviously they got to put their name and email address. Free plus shipping. When I plugged in, I legitimately, guys, we plugged in hundreds of members, because I get asked this all the time. Look, can you really plug people into a membership site? Will people really pay $97 a month on the internet? Hundreds of people, 187K. Like those DVDs that you saw up earlier that I mentioned, like those were both membership sites. How I earned $187,000 in my first 9 months online as a coach, and the 250 leads. And let me explain how I did it, because it's relevant here. Free plus shipping, but I had forced continuity. And what that means, so we did an offer, and I had JV partners coming out of the yin yang, so built a massive list. So they send out an email. I would drive them to a landing page. In fact, it was an early bird special. I'm thinking back a few years here, guys. An early bird special. We'd send them another email and say, congratulations, you're on the early bird. They would then send the email. They'd then get an email to say, guess what, we're launching. You got it, it's going to be on this particular date, but you better opt in because we're only taking X amount of people onto the webinar. Boom, they opted in. And then we would put them on the webinar, and then I would close them. And then I closed them on free plus shipping, so they would get a free DVD. That's what it was. So it was a free DVD that I shipped them. They had to give us their address. They had to pay $7.95 to get the DVD. They got 30 days free on my membership site, Forced Continuity. And then after 30 days, we dung them automatically for $97 ongoing, okay, until they quit. Okay, so again, free plus shipping, Forced Continuity. if you guys got creative with that concept, I would encourage you guys to think about how you could take that, and I'd be happy to, we could talk about that later if you want, but free plus shipping with force continuity, the ways that you could adjust the approach that I just gave you and then use it for closing your own coaching clients could be significant. And again, this was this is Russell Brunson, free plus shipping with force continuity, right? I didn't create it. I just, Russell Brunson, I did one of his webinars. I saw it. I went, holy smokes, I think we can do this. We did it, built a massive list, and again, had hundreds of members. To Adrian's point earlier, guess what happened? Okay, $97 started hitting, right? So we got 500 people paying $97. Do you think I had some headaches? Some of the hardest money I've ever made in my life was right there, and it's what everybody seems to want, is that online income, 97 bucks a month, right? There's easier, there's better ways of using your website and better ways to be making money on the internet than doing it at $97 on a monthly basis, no question, right? But anyway, but just so you guys know that that's possible, and free plus shipping is a really powerful technique. Webinar registration, again, guys, we just talked about that with Jason. A free month of coaching, in fact, I've got that twice, but you can throw in a free month of coaching, no question about it, right? All of a sudden, boom, you got there, that's an offer on steroids, that's what it is. And then an exit pop-up. You guys ever we used to have that on the website, actually. You guys ever, you go into a website and then you try leave, and then it like pops up with something. You get like annoyed as anything. You're like, grumble. So yeah, and now guys, strategy. Please write this down, guys. This strategy, it is not like a strategy. It's not kind of like a game plan. This is what you need to do, okay? You get their attention, you build a celebrity, you drive traffic, you do what you need to do. Now you get them on the phone or you get face-to-face, but it's I would be going to the phone before I went face-to-face all day long. But again, guys, get on the phone with these people, okay? And when they get on the phone, guess what? I want you to come back to state, story, strategy, right? Again, you need to, what's the story you're telling yourself when they call, right? Or that you call them. You sort of crap in your pants thinking, the last 7 people said no. I don't know if this stuff really works. I'm not sure I believe in myself. You got it, fake it till you make it if that's what's necessary, but you got to put your body in a state where you are ready to stinking go. These guys call it, it's like, look, I am going to change this guy's life. I am going to change this family. I am going to repair this marriage. I am going to save lives through this process. Own that in your body, and when this guy phones, you'll suddenly, your level of passion will go up a gear. You will no longer sort of hang up the phone and go, shit, I think I sounded a little bit monotone. That won't be the problem anymore. It'll be like, holy cow, this gal really cares about whatever they were just pitching to me, whatever they were just talking about. Okay, so, but again, exit pop-up. So driving traffic. So unique selling proposition. Okay, Adrian talked about this in depth today, so I'm going to whip through this a little bit. But your position against the competition. Okay, pretty straightforward stuff. If you want to drive traffic, you 100% need this, guys. End of stories. It basically says, if this is your problem, you'd be an idiot not to work with me to solve it. Don't know? Call, interview, do a focus group. If you don't know what your target market by now, if you don't know what they actually want, and by the way, guys, if you're looking to go to small business owners on average, what's the #1 hot button? I don't care how many surveys you do or how many folks you talk about. If you interview 100 or 1,000 small business owners, what's going to be the #1 thing that they want? Boom, lock, stock, barrel. We all know. So go promote that. And by the way, now they're going to come to you because they want the leads. That's how you get the eyeballs. Now you get them on the phone and you can give them the bad news that, look, I can help you get the leads, but guess what? Have you seen step 2, 3, 4, and 5? Oh, and by the way, when we just increase these by 10% only, guess what I do? I take it from 62,000 to 100 grand. And then by adding a 20%, as Adrian showed you this morning, you put 100 grand in. And you take them to 50%, you take somebody from 62,000 to nearly $500,000. But you get them on the phone to discuss that. Okay, so again, the marketing, the lead generation, and there's sweeping generalizations here, guys. There's plenty of ways to drive traffic, and there's other offers out there that will work, but if you want the easiest one and you want the low-hanging fruit, you promote the lead generation, you promote the new business, you get them on the phone, and now you do your magic in state with the right story, and the strategy should be, you should have the strategy and the offer done before you get them on the phone, okay? But again, guys, get that offer right and get them on the stinking phone. So if you don't know what they're looking for, though, do ask them. And if you insist on deciding that you want to do, more of HR type stuff and looking after, staff recruitment, staff training, and staff development. In fact, it's funny when I got, so the Alberta, actually Hugh would know those, Retail Alberta called me one time. So that's like it's a province in Canada. So they wanted me to come talk on recruiting staff members. And I said, yeah, no problem. But I said, look, I got a very different twist on it, because I'm going to show them how to do rank, recognition, prizes, and money strategy, because the reason they have to keep finding their staff is why? Because they keep losing them. And I'm like, well, if we talk about retaining the staff instead of losing the staff, maybe they won't have to recruit so many damn staff, right? And how do you do that? And that's in order, guys. Rank, recognition, prizes, and money. And the guys were there, and of course they're expecting recruitment. And the number of comments that I got afterwards were thank yous, and the interest that we got at the end of that presentation, again, it wasn't a close. It was like Retail Alberta was paid to be there, so I wasn't really worried so much about the leads, but like the leads came through thick and fast. Okay. So and by the way, why did I say that? So again, it's a slightly different twist on all the same stuff, right? When you're trying to get recruit a staff member, it's nothing more and nothing less than a sale.